curtains have moved down. I'm taking the purse off my leg.
Hello, 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 everybody. We are live at Disneyland, USA, the 68th birthday of my favorite place on earth. And in just a few moments, the cavalcade for Disneyland's birthday will be coming down Main Street. They kicked off at Small World at about 11:45. They're going to do their moment in the hub, maybe, and then they're going to head down Main Street, where we think they may be stopping right about here. And I think it might be this spot, because just above me is Mr. Daps. Say hello. The insiders down below.
Hey, what up, friends?
I'm here. We have Natalie Kipper, Mike Kindrich, Nathan Villamore. We also have other team members at the at Town Square and various other places in the park. So one way or another, we're going to capture some neat video and images. And right now, do us a favor and please like, share, comment, so people know that we are live and that in just a few minutes you're going to experience Disneyland's birthday with us. What we're going to do when the cavalcade goes by is we're going to go out into Main Street and follow them down towards Town Square to catch what happens there. And then I'm going to take you on a little birthday tour of the park. So this is going to be a fantastic live video today. They are going to ask us to sing happy birthday when it gets here, so let's practice the words, everybody. I'd like to see you typing them out with me here. So it starts, of course, Natalie, how does it start?
Happy birthday, I presume.
Yeah, happy birthday to you.
Oh,
right?
that's close.
Happy birthday to
You,
Happy birthday, dear
Disneyland.
Yep. That, Mike, you've learned this one. The easiest song in the history of songs. Happy birthday to you. And to think that for decades and decades, people made millions and millions and millions of dollars on the royalties for that song. I need to write a song like that. I need the kind of song that can enable me to have a passport to every Disney park around the world and a way to get there to visit those parks. Yes, there's still one Sherman brother alive. Maybe he'll write us a song.
I'm sure you saw it.
I have to tell you folks, there was a long line to get into the park. Main Street is packed on both sides, more people than there would normally be for a parade. Town Square is packed, the hub is packed, Small World is packed. So the park is absolutely brimming with people today for its birthday. The temperature is mid-80s. There were threats of thunderstorms early this morning, although we never saw any clouds, but it does mean that it's super humid, in the 70% range for humidity. So it's a rough day to be here, but it is just filled with people, excuse me, and many of them dressed in their Disneyland attire. We are on the sunny side of the street. We're pointed towards the people on the shadier side, although right about now the sun is directly overhead, so there's no great shade anywhere. We're almost now at noon, so we should be seeing them very, very soon. We heard some noise earlier and some people cheering in the hub. It could just be that there were some custodial cast members banging on trash cans or something like that. You never know at Disneyland, but I heard noise and thought, let's go live. I don't want our fans to miss a moment of Disneyland's 68th birthday. And again, for those of you who just joined us, this is, of course, Dusty Sage from MiceChat.com. We are here at Disneyland for the 68th birthday of the happiest place on earth. Now, this is a minor year, 68. It's not 70 or 75. So this isn't a huge celebration today. They're doing a cavalcade with characters, the Dapper Dans. They will have everyone sing happy birthday, and then the cavalcade will move on towards Town Square. We'll follow them, and then we'll do a little live stream from the park, so you can all experience Disneyland for its birthday. We'll try to do some fun things along the way. So not our normal news live. This one is just for fun, a celebration of Disneyland. They're starting to close off Main Street now. That's a good sign. If you haven't done so already, we have an epic Disneyland update for you today about Bob Iger's tightrope that he's walking right now, on succession planning, on the actor and writer's strike, about the Haunted Mansion movie premiere here at Disneyland and how they're celebrating in the parks. Some big changes over at San Francisco. I got to try all the new food, so we cover some of that in the update. We show you all of the latest construction, and we talk about why this park doesn't have enough shade. It definitely needs more. So please do us the favor today of pulling up the MiceChat Monday update on micechat.com, leaving us a comment, and if you do nothing else, please share to your social because those updates take forever. They take us a whole day to shoot, more than half a day to process photos, and an entire day to write. We started yesterday at around noon and we didn't finish until about 8:30 this morning, no sleeping. So I'm on zero sleep today because of the Monday update, but we've been doing them for 20 years, so we need to keep the tradition going. But we could really use your help today because we posted late. So if you even have a moment to just get that link and share to your social now and say, it's an epic update on MiceChat, everyone, it's a must read, we would appreciate that. Now, how are you all celebrating Disneyland's birthday today? Are you doing anything special? Did you go to work wearing a Disneyland shirt? Are you posting something special to your social media? How are you marking the occasion? And what are your best Disneyland memories? I'll share one of mine, but start typing out your memories so we can see them in the comments here.
Sorry, I was reading your comments.
I told this story a number of times, but I have two really vivid memories of Disneyland as a child. One was coming with my grandparents for the first time. They lived in Kansas, and we had just moved to California, and I was quite young. We lived here for 1 year when I was in the second grade. And we were so excited to go to Disneyland with Grandma Shirley and Grandpa Jerry. They wanted nothing to do with Disneyland, but they were only doing it for my sister Amber and I. And Amber, if you're watching, hello. But when we got to the park, my grandfather did what he always did when we went places he didn't want to be. He got us in and out as quickly as he could. So we walked all the way down Main Street here. I think we stopped into one of the stores for my grandmother. We went all the way back to Small World. We rode It's a Small World. And then, no, that's yours. Drink your water. You need to stay hydrated. I have one here.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. That is Jack.
Hi.
The Insider. She's Mama Insider. We love her. But we got all the way to Small World, rode Small World, and then my grandfather said, wasn't Disneyland great? And we marched all the way out of the park and left. That was one of my earliest memories of Disneyland. Ah, I see them coming, I think. Maybe that was just a, nope, they're coming. Here they go. Are you ready, everybody? It's right here. It's hard to see them because the cast members are all standing there, but in just 1 second, you're going to see them.
We're having a great time today, even though we were very hot.
It's Disneyland's birthday, and we're feeling hot, hot, hot. Here they go. Do you see them yet?
You know how rare that is? Oh my gosh, wait, here it is. Oh, there it is, guys. All right, now it's
If I can't hear you screaming through the screen, you're not screaming loud enough.
Eric, as you guys know, Eric, nobody sees the wall. Eric is the MVP for good camera footage. Ooh, hopefully Marie's in the Okay, so be sure to follow if you guys don't share this stream and if you're watching it. And I'm gonna stop talking so you guys get to enjoy it.
It's all in Disney 100 colors this year, so platinum and kind of purple, purpley blue. Disneyland's colors are purple and blue.
characters. I love the purple and silver.
And the characters are not in their birthday attire this year. It kind of looks like gumballs. Instead, they're in their Disney 100 outfits. Marching band behind this parade float. Behind that, it looks like there's a float with a cake on it. We'll have to wait and see.
Everyone, and welcome to the happiest day on earth. 100 years ago, Walt Disney and his brother Roy built a company on a dream. Their legacy grew and others carried on their vision, uplifting millions from generation to generation. On this day in 1955, a magic kingdom was born. 68 years of unforgettable memories began when Walt himself offered this momentous proclamation.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past. And here youth may savor the challenge and promise of the future. Disneyland is dedicated to the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America, with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
Today is a day to celebrate. Please join us in singing Happy Birthday to Disneyland.
Woo! Go, everybody.
Happy birthday.
And many more.
Square USA. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Aww.
Dapper dance with Pinocchio and Geppetto. And of course, Disneyland's amazing marching band. Filled with characters. Gaston, Red from Pirates, Snow White, Evil Queen, Hook up there, some of our favorite villains. On the other side, it looks like we have some of the mice and Cruella de Vil, Peter Pan and Tinkerbell, Wendy, Aladdin, Genie, Jasmine, Moana, Merida, Pocahontas, Tiana. It's always nice to see the older characters like the Tweedles, the White Rabbit. Mad Hatter gets a ride. He's one of the older characters you see. Disneyland ambassadors! I love our ambassadors. Hello! I just saw them on Saturday at the movie premiere for Haunted Mansion. And it looks like the... I thought I heard something earlier, and I believe that it was the cake float here having some trouble. They're finally getting it moving again. Everybody's cheering for them. They have some ground to make up. We're going to follow the crowd towards the town square here. We're going to see if we can do this all over again. When can we do this again? How about we do it now? I never follow the parade, so this is kind of fun, but it's so many people here. I don't know how far we'll get before they tell us that we're not allowed to stop. Look at all the people here, folks.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land. Here age relives fond memories of the past. And here you may say the McDonald's and clouds of the future.
It's hot. One of the balloons just exploded.
To the ideals, the dreams, and the hard facts that have created America. With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
Today is a day to celebrate. Please join us and happy birthday to Disneyland.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Disneyland. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this once-in-a-lifetime 100-year anniversary. We're so glad you joined us for this special day in history because you are a part of the magic. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
People, people, people. At this day, folks. So many people up on the train station platform up there. They've got a great spot. Of course, they had to get there very early. I was lucky to get here in time to do this video because, of course, we did the update last night, so we were exhausted. But our team saved us some nice spots on Main Street. Mickey there.
Thank you so much for joining us.
In today's update, you may have seen me reference the fact that Mickey enters the public domain. Is that Chris Tyler? Say hi. This is Chris's park, everyone. That's the secret that nobody realizes, but she really does run Disneyland. For real. She's the VP of Disneyland, and we love her. Happy birthday. This is an amazing celebration on a hot day. Look how many people showed up. Love seeing the marching band. And there go our favorite characters. So we're going to take a little walkabout here, and we're going to enjoy Disneyland. Thanks, Chris. Take care. Chris is just people's people. We couldn't be luckier to have someone like her running the park. Of course, Ken Potrock is the president of the entire resort, but Chris runs Disneyland. This is her park. Hello, how are you? Say hi to everybody. Happy birthday, Disneyland. Happy birthday, and it's your birthday today, Danielle's birthday. Happy birthday to you. You live in a shoe. You look like a monkey, and you smell like one too, and many more. See, when you love somebody, that's how you sing to them. Bye, guys. Mwah.
Hippo
Hello.
birdie to use.
Woo! I
Hippo
love
birdie
it.
to use.
That's right, Hippo Birdie to use. You see characters when you're at Disneyland, folks. Real live characters. So, there are a couple of things that they did for Disneyland's birthday. Minimal. One of them I think I've already forgotten, but one is there's a birthday donut. Now, I'm not going to make you wait in line to get it with me. Usually they do some sort of a cupcake, but this year it's a donut, and it is at the Jolly Holiday. So we're going to walk in through the exit there and see if we can't see one in the display case. And then we're going to go on a little adventure. How about that? Just for fun, to see what a hot Disneyland birthday looks like. It was just like this last year. In fact, last year, moments after we did the video, and I was crouched on the ground in the little foyer area of the castle courtyard, which is where they did it last year. And I couldn't get back up again, and then as I stood up, I passed out from the heat. So I've been drinking lots of water today. I'm very susceptible to heat. It's hard for me to visit Disney World, even though I love it. We're looking at wait times here real quick just to see how busy the park is. 40 minutes for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is not terrible. Rise of the Resistance, 75. Of course, they want you to buy a magic band. Please buy our magic bands. Why won't anybody buy our magic bands? 45 minutes for Big Thunder. Haunted Mansion is 30 minutes. 70 minutes for Indiana Jones, which is having a rebirth since the movie came out. Space Mountain, 60 minutes. Just looking here real quick to see how some of the others are. I found the team. They've reassembled. Avengers Assemble. Magic Happens Parade is at 3:30 today. Peter Pan's Flight, 40 minutes. 40 minutes. Jungle Cruise, 45. This is not terrible wait. 50 minutes for Dumbo is too long. Too long. 40-minute wait for Dumbo. Hello, how are you? Bonjour. This is a cast member from Phantom Manor at Disneyland Paris. You're in our article today. You're a star.
Oh,
Yes.
I have to read that.
Yes, you all have to read the article today. That is the cast member. You too, take care. Cast member from Disneyland Paris who came out for Haunted Mansion premiere. Why do I feel like I'm doing the commentary on the Tournament of Roses parade? And on this beautiful float by the Disneyland Chamber of Commerce, made entirely out of irises and marigolds. We can't do a Disneyland birthday video without stopping to see the reason for the season here, which is Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse entering the public domain next year. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out.
Thank you so much.
Here we are. Happy birthday, Walt and Mickey. Congratulations on 68 years. Walt is gone, but he's still very much with us here at the park. You know, his presence is felt every single day. So much of the experience here at Disneyland, although it has changed dramatically over the years, still feels small and quaint and like that little park that was built by a papa for his two daughters. And that famous story that you hear that he took his daughters to the carousel in Griffith Park, carousel that still exists. And he had to sit on that green bench and watch them go round and around and around, and he thought, surely there is a better way for families to entertain themselves than the kids having all the fun and the parents just sitting and watching. And so he wanted to build Disneyland so that everyone in the family could enjoy it. So it's not really a park for children. When people say Disneyland's a park for kids, never was intended to be for kids. In fact, many of the rides and attractions were too scary for kids, because Walt also believed in true life adventures, and that kids needed to be exposed to the hard facts that shaped America. And that's why Snow White's adventures were so scary. Even Jungle Cruise at first didn't have any jokes. And I've lost our crew again somewhere, but they can watch the video and find us. Love what they did with the castle there for the 100th with the fountains. Reminds me of when I was younger. Of course, the castle had swans when I was younger. Usually had white swans and one black swan swimming around. But when they started doing fireworks off the castle, they switched that all up and decided it wasn't really safe to have swans in the castle with the noise and the potential fallout of sparks. And they got rid of them. But thing many people don't realize is that those swans were never really Disneyland swans. They were rental swans, like studio props. They hired a company to bring swans in and take care of them. We're gonna go over here to Jolly Holiday and see if we can spot that donut. Very crowded here today. Very crowded indeed. We're just taking a look to see if they're in here. I don't see them. Are they in here? Nope, they're out. They're out. They do have that beautiful platinum trifle, delicious lemon bread. Of course, they always have the macaron with the berries, and they have a s'mores macaron right now. But no donut. They do have a really, really good hand pie right now. You're out of the donut? Okay, thank you. I just asked one of the cast members. She was tired of telling people they were out of the donuts. Don't blame her. When Disneyland fans want something and it's out, they must hear a million times a day, do you have that lounge fly? Do you have that lounge fly? Do you have that lounge fly? Love it. This lady over here is dressed entirely in her Disney 100, so she's got the purple shirt, the purple hat, and the purple ears. I'm heading into what I think of as the most authentic part of the park, and the oldest part. Fantasyland has been completely changed over the years, but Frontierland and Adventureland are still kind of the most original. So we call this the West Side. There's some changes that are going on right now. And although Tiki Room was not here on opening day, it was an attraction presented by Walt Disney himself. So we actually owned this attraction, and then he and his family kept the proceeds from it. They had to pay rent to Disneyland for the space. This wall here is because there was a pipe burst and the men's restroom is temporarily closed, and this wall is up while they fix it. It's quite the mess, huge trench on the other side of that fence. But again, this park is 68 years old, so those kind of things happen. I lived in a house much younger than Disneyland that had a slab leak twice. So I get it. Jungle Cruise is an opening day attraction, and as spectacular today as it was back then. In fact, such a beloved attraction, they made a live action movie about it, starring The Rock. He was here for an event at Disneyland to promote the film. And we saw him breeze by us. He's huge. 40-minute wait. People queued up upstairs and down, the line coming out of the doorway. It's heartening to see an attraction, 68 years old, still packing them in. And of course, it's Disneyland's birthday, and a lot of people that are here today are probably trying to ride the original attractions that still exist. Not too many of them. We're about to come up on some other original attractions. Indy, of course, not original. It looks like it's temporarily closed. Treehouse is reopening soon. Also, not an opening day attraction, came later. Not too much later. When it reopens, it's going to look pretty much like it did when it was Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. There's a new family living in it now, not Tarzan anymore. I think the actual title of the attraction is Adventureland Treehouse, inspired by Walt Disney's Swiss Family Robinson. They're gonna have to do a lot of explaining because it means there aren't Swiss people in there at all. You might see evidence of them, some Easter eggs, throwbacks, the idea exactly the same, even the water wheel contraption and all of that. We hear that the family has a bit of a tie-in to the Society of Adventurers and Explorers. If you don't know what that is, go to mychat.com and search Adventures and Explorers, or SEA, your guide to the SEA. Pirates has a massive queue right now stretching through the center of the land. One of my favorite elements of Disneyland are these beautiful Disneyland roses. They bloom, they're this pretty peach color, orangey peach. And then as they bloom, they turn pink. Stunning. Mine got some sort of a parasite, and I had to trim them all the way down to their canes and spray them. They're coming back, so hopefully I'll still get a spray of flowers yet this summer. So the full switchback is not being used, but there is a line of people out there. So New Orleans Square was not an original land to Disneyland. It came in the 60s, and Walt Disney was working on this as one of his last projects before he died. Pirates of the Caribbean in New Orleans Square opened just days after Walt passed. He got to see it, of course. And they pulled him through on a boat in Pirates because the ride propulsion wasn't working yet. We did even get to ride his ride that he was so proud of and did that television special about. He also knew about the Haunted Mansion, had been working on it extensively. Their original idea was to make it a walk-through attraction. And that was the idea. And then they got distracted by the New York World's Fair. And they were doing so many attractions for the New York World's Fair. They did Lincoln and a Ford kind of Omnimover style ride, Carousel of Progress. It's a Small World. That they put Haunted Mansion development for Disneyland on hold. 40-minute wait for Haunted Mansion right now in the sun. So we're here at River's Edge, and this is all fairly original to opening day. Rafts to Tom Sawyer's Island. The boats, Columbia and Mark Twain. I'd like to think that was the same water that was here when Disneyland was here, but you know what? It isn't. They drain that river every so often to do maintenance. There's Mike. Just ran into him. You know what, Mike? This building used to have plants on top of it. Remember? And there aren't any right now. Interesting.
Where's my day?
A little bit of a bottleneck here, but only because there are a brigade of strollers and narrow walkway from the construction on what will be Tiana's Bayou Adventure. More about that on Mice Chat. We're not doing too much of the news today. Yeah, look at that. The tree stump on the side is gone, and the top of the tree stump up there is gone. Some pictures of that. It looks like they're just using scissors to slowly chip away at it. Like it's not coming down fast. They're taking it down 1 inch at a time. Yeah. So how are you all holding up in the heat out there in Mice Chat Land? Are you enjoying our live video on Disneyland's 68th birthday? Let us know in the comments below. What are some of your memories and favorite places in the park? If you were told that you could only go to Disneyland one more time and you had just enough time to ride 3 attractions, which 3 attractions would you pick? Which 3 attractions would you pick, Mike?
It'd have to be Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain, and what's the third one I would probably pick? I'd probably pick Pirates because I just like the nostalgia of the old stuff.
So Pirate Mountain?
Pirate Mountain.
I thought you were going to keep up a theme there. Big Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain, and Pirates. That's a very good list. I think I would pick, here comes everybody. Everybody always asks. Haunted Mansion, Pirates, and dun dun dun, Enchanted Tiki Room.
Yes. So would there be room for me to sneak in one more then?
I will let you mention an honorable mention. But the 3 is just 3, Mike.
But I mean, I can't sneak onto Haunted Mansion?
Mike skipped out on kindergarten.
I did.
So you want to add Haunted Mansion in as an honorable mention?
Yeah.
In case one of your top 3 is unable to fulfill their duties, Haunted Mansion will step in as the 3rd.
I think I'd be more concerned about it if one of my mentions was Indy. But
Indy is definitely up there for me. I thought about it. The reason I picked Tiki Room is it's an attraction that fits all of your needs on a day when you've been wandering around and enjoying all the dramatic things in the park. And Tiki Room offers, you know, color and humor and music and a place to sit in the air conditioning, and you can even get a snack and take it in with you. So really, in a way, it's the ultimate form of entertainment. I could have also mentioned the train. It'd be right up there at the top of my list.
Such a good nap ride.
I love the train. The train, the Tiki Room, and the Mark Twain all kind of fit that same itch for me.
Definitely. Especially if you get that nice breeze going. Speaking of breezes, there's a breeze up on Main Street. There's not one back here in Star Wars.
There's no breeze. I think that part of being at the edge of the galaxy like this is, it's, well, soul-sucking, but it also kind of sucks all of the air out. So it's hard to breathe back here, and it's hotter than the blazes here on Batu.
I think they're trying to make us feel like we're on a desert planet.
They have succeeded. It is getting prettier as these trees grow in. It's really pretty back here, but definitely not an original land to Disneyland. And this being Disneyland's birthday, I'm going to do a very short diatribe. Are you ready for it?
Sure.
The whole purpose of Disneyland is to sort of be an escape from the harsh realities of the real world. So while Disneyland did have things like headhunters and some scary elements on rides like Haunted Mansion and Snow White Scary Adventures, it was also a culture of reassurance in the park. So once you got out of that ride, you realized they all kind of mostly have happy endings. And then you're back in Disneyland, which is clean and safe and well maintained, at least back in Walt's day, freshly painted. They used to replace light bulbs before they burned out back in Walt's day. And they had a program on Main Street where they would start painting on one end of the street. Each night they'd go through, paint a little bit more all the way down the street. When they got to the end of the street, you know what they'd do, Mike?
Turn back around and go the other direction.
That's right. They'd start at the other end again and do it all over again so that everything would always be freshly painted. And they could do little bits every night so you never saw scaffolding up when you got to the park in the morning or any of that, unless there was a major repair going on. But Galaxy's Edge doesn't fit the model of the rest of the park, which is, you know, kind of sort of loose themes that multiple rides and experiences would fit into. So Adventureland can be any adventurous ride. So Indiana Jones fits in perfectly next to Tiki Room or the Treehouse. Frontierland, same thing. Of course, Fantasyland, Stories from all over, all fit together just fine. But with Galaxy's Edge, they decided to make it not even all your Star Wars stories, but very specific ones.
Very narrow time.
Very narrow time frame. So nothing about this land fits the rest of Disneyland. It doesn't look freshly maintained or freshly painted, even though it is very well maintained and freshly painted. It has that falling apart look. It's built to look that way, so it doesn't feel like the rest of Disneyland. And of course, this is not a catch-all for all of our Star Wars stories either. So to me, this belongs over at California Adventure or in its own park somewhere. Perhaps a Star Wars and Marvel park.
Especially with Star Tours still being over tomorrow.
Yeah, I could imagine a park with Indiana Jones and Star Wars and Marvel and it being very successful, and leave this space for Fantasyland expansion or something like that. I'm not going to go through the marketplace there only because today isn't about Star Wars.
Something else about the whole, escaping reality. That's the whole purpose for the plan I was around Disneyland. And of course,
right.
Before the hotels and everything was built, there were multi-stories and the freeways.
Yeah.
And you were literally secluded in this area where you had that sense of security.
Look at that. Nathan was waiting for us in the pathway. He knew we would walk right by him. He's smart. You is smart.
I try my best.
I went into the Jolly Holiday to see if they had the donut. Bad news.
They're sold out, huh?
No donuts.
I saw people leaving with like 6 of them.
Oh my gosh. You know what they're doing with those 6 donuts that I couldn't get, Nathan?
Putting them on eBay?
They're selling them on eBay for $2,000. You get a donut and an Oogie Boogie Bash ticket for $2,500.
Adventure asks, will they ever add another ride in Galaxy's Edge?
I do think they will add more here. We'll get more into that on another video when we're talking about Galaxy's Edge. They need to do something back here. I just want them to make it a celebration like the rest of Disneyland. If every day could be Life Day here with live music and celebrations and colorful banners, and there were no stormtroopers except in rides, and it felt like a celebration, a joy to be back here with kind of market type foods, etc. It would be a pleasure to be back here, but it's not. Look at these droids in the shade. I'm enjoying the shade and the droids. Does he play music? He hooks up to your phone? That's neat. So the DJ Rex droid can stream the music from your phone, so clever. I wonder why she had an iPhone out on her stand, because cast members aren't allowed to use their phones. Magic bands galore. So it's Star Wars and Magic Band cart. And these are the cheap lightsabers, so you don't have to pay $200. No one playing it was too hot to play the game. The Magic Band game. Kind of remnants here of the old Conestoga wagons. It's meant to look like the old Conestoga wagon trail. So you see the path here. You even see the wagon tracks up there. There's one of the horses that you see from the river.
Sounds like Thunder Town.
It's what happened on our last live. Remember we walked by Big Thunder and it was down? They were making the announcements. Big Thunder's been going down an awful lot lately. Big Thunder, Indiana Jones, Space Mountain, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and Rise of the Resistance are all down substantial chunks of every day. they can figure all of that out. These are new details back here. You know, of course, they rerouted the train and this pathway when they built Galaxy's Edge, but I love this little bit of detail up here. So that rope and that thing, that is so they can exchange packages on the train. So this isn't a stop. The train would slow down and they would pull mail from the train off and put mail that needed to go on or packages onto the mail train. The train is actually coming by right now. We can hear it. So we'll wait 1 second. Of course, this is just theming. It's not an actual working mail stop, but as you go by here, you see all sorts of mail details. One of Walt's original attractions and the very reason that Disneyland was built. Walt wanted a train set. So yes, he was building an attraction for families to get together and enjoy themselves, but he also built himself a giant model train set. Everything here is a little bit smaller than in real life. So it's all built to scale, just a very, very large scale. Many of the buildings on Main Street at Walt Disney World are built larger than scale. And here at Disneyland, they're built smaller than scale, including the monorail. So the monorail is smaller than an actual functioning transit system might be, but it works in context to the rest of Disneyland. Beautiful some of these desert plants are. They're blooming there, huge spikes. 10, 12 feet tall. Some neat old mining equipment here on the backside of Big Thunder. And throughout the park, you see that anytime there's a tiny bit of shade, there's somebody standing in it because it's a very hot day. In fact, as soon as this video is over, I'm gonna find some shade. And if I can, maybe even some air conditioning. Backside of Magic here. So we're entering Fantasyland, much of which is covered up right now for a big exterior refurbishment. They're doing roofing and painting. So another thing to remember about Fantasyland is it's an original land to Disneyland. Of course, Walt famously said that Fantasyland was the happiest land of them all, but didn't look quite like this. Other than the castle, Tony Baxter came in the 80s and he redid Fantasyland. And Walt built the park. He didn't have a lot of money, so they kind of went with a less expensive style than what he originally wanted. They did a tournament style. So the buildings were built and they just kind of built kind of tent-like awnings and things in front with shields and used cheap signs painted. And it was all very whimsical and worked just fine. But what Tony said is since the park was growing and it was very popular and very successful, they should replicate more of what Walt originally wanted to do and have a more thought out castle-like look to the area. So all these facades that you see here were built by Tony Baxter and his team. So all these whimsical storybook facades, those were all built in the 80s. Many of the attractions that remained from opening day were moved. So the carousel was moved to this spot, so it would be the thing that you saw. And they moved Dumbo back, and in the process of moving Dumbo back there, they lost Skull Rock, and they had intended to relocate Skull Rock, but it fell apart. So today we have no Skull Rock at Disneyland, but we do have a very beautiful Fantasyland, especially compared to Walt Disney World's, which still has sort of that tournament style in the old part of their Fantasyland. Hello.
Absolutely love your show.
Oh my gosh.
Every Friday, Orange Grove 55. So I'm Mom.
Well,
but
thank you so much. And you look like a princess today.
Thank you.
I love it. You're all pixie dusted, and I love your tiara.
Thank you.
You are beautiful, and you're here to celebrate Disneyland's 68th birthday.
We're doing it. Orange Grove 55 is doing a big kind of whirlwind thing. So we're going here, then we're going to go to Florida, And then they're gonna go on a cruise, so
Oh,
like
wow.
a month.
So they're here at Disneyland, then they're going to go to Florida, then they're going to go on a cruise. Now, that's a Disney celebration.
right,
I am
that's right.
jealous.
Yeah.
I'm having FOMO.
Yeah, but I didn't go on your little cruise.
That was pretty spectacular.
That's
Why, thank you. It is. Hello, hello. Happy birthday, Disneyland.
That is my wife. But
I know, she just tracked me down. She
Yeah.
told me all about the amazing
Yeah.
adventure you're about to go on.
Yeah.
it's good to see you.
I love it. You too.
Dusty,
They did.
Speech.
This is Mike.
Mike. Okay, I just.
Yes, Mike, our
He does
photographer.
all the pictures.
That's right.
Okay.
Thank you all so much. Enjoy your
Appreciate you.
Disneyland day.
We'll see you.
Bye-bye. Take care.
I support you.
Bye-bye. We have the very best viewers and followers and readers and Mice Chat members. We have so much stuff, right? We have the social media accounts, and of course, the website's been around forever. And then before that, we even had the message boards, which still exist. For those of you who know what a message board is, you get tired of the hostility of Twitter, maybe join the message boards and post a trip report. Mike, I think I need to go through the castle just to get a little shade and air conditioning, so hopefully I don't lose the folks on the stream, but I'm headed up. Yep. Let's see, everybody. Oh, come on. Amazing. So, of course, this is Sleeping Beauty Castle, not Sleeping Beauty's castle, possessive, but Sleeping Beauty. The movie hadn't even come out yet when Disneyland was built. So they built it based on how they thought it might look in the movie and not the actual final design, which is more like that. It's a lot more like Walt Disney World's castle. You see the magic happening? Of course, on her 16th birthday, she pricked her finger on the spindle of a spinning wheel. A terrible fate. I always sort of sympathized a little bit with Maleficent, who was just totally pissed off she wasn't invited to the christening. Our little fairies up there. So sad. Everybody has been affected by the curse that they put the entire castle to sleep along with Aurora. She's so beautiful. Neat little trick here. If you touch the windows, sometimes it causes the goons to come up. Did I scare you? Summoned all the demons from her castle to prevent Prince Philip from reaching the princess. So dark in here. They don't build attractions like this anymore. Very few walk-through experiences left at Disneyland. Beautiful, creepy. Love it. It's the scary side of the castle. We're headed back down now, and everything's dark and sinister. This is a cool effect, Mike, right here. The never-ending pit of doom. Isn't that cool? And of course, I think Maleficent's dragon is broken. No, here it comes. Let's see what happens here. No. There's Maleficent up there at the top of the tower. You see her? Look at the top of that central tower there. She just fell. Ah! And then let's see if the dragon is working. Or has it been consumed by flame? Yes, not working. It is dark in here. It's getting dark in here. And there they are, Love's True Kiss. Shadow of Maleficent. Mike found the air. This is the make it pink, make it blue. Make it pink, make it blue. That felt good. Maybe not cold enough. Heading to another iconic spot in Disneyland as we walk through the arches here under the castle. Not only do you get a beautiful view of the castle and the new fountains, but you see Snow White and her 7 dwarves. Very nice, isn't it? And then over here at the Wishing Well, there's Ariel meeting with guests. And a long line of guests waiting to see her. She used to have her own little meet and greet spot here. Been taken over by Tinkerbell and Friends many, many years ago. Look at this view, Mike, as we just go around here. Like, this is Walt Disney's castle. Still here, 68 years later. Just imagine Walt walking through that tunnel right there. And on opening day, all those kids running through the castle. They did that shot a number of times and in both directions. That all happened right here 68 years ago.
Black and white
Beautiful
photos.
shot, Mike. Mike's always taking art shots of the park. He loves. This is his canvas. Beautiful plantings over in here. These weeping trees and the roses. Over here we have swans. These are an homage to the swans that no longer swim in the castle moat. Presented for you now as topiary. You don't have to feed these swans. Well, they do have to trim them, water them. You might give them a little Miracle Grow now and then. This is the spot that Ariel used to have her meet and greet. You'd wander through here. That's where the rocks look like that. There was a Triton fountain. It's now at the top of the Little Mermaid ride at California Adventure. Then you'd wind your way up and there was a sort of clamshell type cave. She was up there meeting and greeting with guests. Now you see all of the blades of grass. Yes, Matterhorn, I believe, is down.
It is. I started making announcements.
A lot of attractions down. Doot, 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 doot. Also, not an opening day attraction. It feels like Matterhorn's been here up forever, and it was built while Walt was alive. He called back to Imagineering from his trip to Switzerland. He and his wife went to Zurich. While they were there, they discovered a number of things that would be built very quickly at Disneyland. One of those things was the monorail. So it was not a Disney invention. It was something he saw overseas. It was the first operating monorail in the United States. I think they even say I don't know how accurate all of that is, but that is exactly the story how they tell it. Beautiful shot here, framed by trees, a little bit of shade, so I paused. On our left is Alice in Wonderland, my favorite Fantasyland dark ride. I like it more than Peter Pan, but it is behind refurbishment walls right now. It's had 2 refurbishments in the last 2 months. And one of them was to refurbish the building and the exterior, and then the other one was to do some work on the interior. Original attraction, teacups moved from its original location to this spot here, so it could be nestled next to the Alice in Wonderland dark ride. Fits very well here. They built the little Mad Hatter hat shop back there, and it looks like the dwarf's cottage. Isn't that cute? Or that's the cottage from Alice in Wonderland, the one where her feet are sticking out and her head is in the window there. Yeah. So cute. For Small World down there also, not original. I was on the train one day, and as we went through, one of the cast members said, original opening day attraction, it's the Small World, and it certainly was not an opening day attraction. It was built for the New York World's Fair. That was 1967. Sure of the date, but it's definitely the 60s. And then afterwards, they disassembled it and moved most of it here to Disneyland. So the Tower of the Four Winds that Raleigh Crump designed was in front of the one at the World's Fair in New York. Did not make its way out. But the facade of the attraction was also designed by Raleigh Crump, and he incorporated elements. So it's only half of the mountain that's down. So they're loading the left side, the right side is closed. So one neat thing about Matterhorn is it's got two tracks. It's like two rides. And normally it would make the line a lot longer, but look at this. The overflow is not terrible. Yeah, even though half the capacity is unavailable. It's one of those weird days where it feels much more crowded than it really is. It is a Monday. Normally you wouldn't be busy on a Monday, but these days, because ticket prices are so high on the weekends, $179 on two of the days this last weekend. Yeah, the days like this when it's $149 or $159, it's much cheaper just to wait for the less expensive day, and the money you save helps pay for a meal for your family, or some of those fancy Mickey ears. I think I'm gonna get a fancy pair of ears and make Nathan wear them. He hates wearing things like that. This morning I asked him if he was going to put on something Disneyland, and he said he didn't want to wear anything that made him look like a nerd.
Oh, no.
Of course, I gleefully put on my wildest Disney shirt. They've got the waterfalls off. Maybe all the water evaporated. Very hot, very hot. What do you think the temperature is now, Mike?
Let's see. It feels like it's about 88, but let's look.
Mike doesn't need to look at an app. He can tell from the pain on his face. So very few original things here in Tomorrowland from opening day.
84 degrees, but it feels like 87.
So the pain index is 87. The Matterhorn, the lagoon, the monorail, the carousel building, none of those are original to when the park opened.
The reason why it feels so hot is because it's 52% humidity.
Ugh, very humid. Now there was an Autopia, but it wasn't this Autopia. So Autopia was built and rebuilt a number of times over the years. At one point there were 3 Autopias at Disneyland. They had the Midget Autopia in Fantasyland for kids. They had the Tomorrowland Autopia, and they had a Fantasyland Autopia for adults. So they were right next to each other. It was so popular that they needed 3 of them. The Midget Autopia was later donated to the Walt Disney Hometown Museum in Marceline, Missouri. They don't operate it, but they would like to one day. And then the 2 tracks, and I can remember there being 2 Autopias when I was a kid. The 2 tracks were combined into a single track by Tony Baxter and team, and they came up with this extra long version of Autopia with 4 tracks instead of 2. So instead of there being 2 rides, each with 2 tracks, there's now 1 ride, much longer, with 4 tracks. It was a clever idea that allowed them to use fewer staff members and provide a better experience to cast. When I was a kid, there used to be a stage back here where Space Mountain is today. Space Mountain came in the 70s. And boy, did it have long lines. Oh my goodness.
Still runs pretty long today. It was about a 50-minute wait earlier.
Mike, do you know what used to be here where the Alien Pizza Planet was when it was an attraction?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Well, that was back there underneath Space Mountain, but when I was a kid, before I was born, this was Mission to the Moon.
Mission to the Moon.
And then later, Walt said, Moon, we've done that. Let's make it Mission to Mars. So they updated the mission and they took people to Mars.
I imagine that would be another nice air-conditioned attraction to enjoy.
Yes, and of course across the way over there where Star Tours is now, they had Adventures Through Inner Space. 70-minute wait right now for the ever-popular Space Mountain. Starcade back there, I can remember spending hours in there playing air hockey and video games. It's now closed to guests. It's a special event space.
And the upstairs is part of the queue for Space Mountain.
Yeah, the upstairs portion of the Starcade is an extended Space Mountain queue. I always thought it would be nice for them to take that upstairs space up here that's unused and make a smaller version of Space 220 like they have at Epcot. It's right there at Space Mountain. They could even have a window that opened up into Space Mountain so you can see rockets going by and stars. I think it'd be a really neat thing for them to do here is have a sit-down restaurant. We don't have very many sit-down restaurants at Disneyland. And as it gets hotter and hotter, it'd be nice to have indoor restaurants like that to dine in.
It's funny to mention the windows looking into Space Mountain. I remember those as a kid, and I miss those windows. You're standing in the queue,
Yeah.
see the rockets go by.
They had to close them up because the early days, the queue for Space Mountain was almost pitch black. By today's standards, they just don't want people tripping and falling because these days people will sue over anything. So there's not a line of people here. This is just a shady spot underneath the abandoned people mover track, and people are just standing in the shade here. So we're gonna do the same thing. Now we're standing in the shade, and we're imagining what it would be like if the people mover returned.
Could you imagine if you're going to put fans on this track?
That'd be great, but I just want to see vehicles moving up there again.
That'd be better.
They did come up with a really neat plan to possibly bring the people mover back. It has not been approved, folks, so don't go around telling everybody people mover is coming back. But there is a plan. If they wanted to do it, they could. And you can see they've been repainting the track. It was, the lip of it was sort of a gray blue, and they're now painting it this darker blue. There's a little bit of it painted here. They're not done with the whole thing yet. As they go through, they're brushing the leaves off the track and painting it a deeper blue. You can see the line right there, Mike, between the blue and the gray. It's nice to know that they're maintaining it. So if they were planning to knock it down, they wouldn't bother painting it. A truck ran into the bottom of that sign a while back, and they've not been able to fix it. Astro Orbiter causes a pinch point here at the entrance and exit of the land. They tried to mitigate it a little bit by pulling out the French fry rocks and building these much smaller gardens. But what they really need to do, yes, I agree, Mike, they need to move the Astro Orbiter to the top of the old People Mover platform. It's actually too heavy for that platform, which is why they can't really do that. But the old similar attraction, Astro Jets, they're still up there. That's that awful structure with the satellite dishes on it. That's actually the old mechanism for that ride. Very similar to Dumbo, an early version of Dumbo.
It ran for a few years on its own on some sort of timer.
It did, and then it broke, and they would try to fix it, and eventually they gave up.
Yeah.
Just like they did with the rest of Tomorrowland. They just kind of gave up on Tomorrowland. So sadly, very little in Tomorrowland from opening day. None of the original attractions still exist. There are ideas of things from early Tomorrowland, but nothing still original. Hear the band back here.
Straw Hatter. Straw Hat Man.
There they are, hiding back here in the shade right back here. Dolly, Dolly, how'd you get them eyes? ladies and gentlemen. What we're gonna do here real quick is we're gonna follow the omnibus down here. We're gonna try and get on the omnibus and take it down to Town Square to end our video today. We'd hop on any of these vehicles though if we can, so I think right now we're walking faster than the omnibus. What a nice day, right? We walked through the park. We did the castle walkthrough. We got to experience the Disneyland birthday cavalcade. Hear the Straw Hatters. Just meandering, enjoying a beautiful day at Walt Disney's very first theme park. Frequently called it the Magical Kingdom of Disneyland. That's where they came up with the idea of calling Walt Disney World's park the Magic Kingdom. We're gonna head up as soon as these first people get off. You all have figured out it's a very hot day here at Disneyland, but been taking it easy and enjoying it. So I'm actually having a good time. You know, Mike, you're like me. You suffer from the heat getting to you, but
Oh yeah.
you've been holding up okay today?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Drink lots of water and take breaks.
Drinking lots of water. I'm drinking my watermelon hint water.
One of the Straw Hatters just stepped up, holding up the side to make sure I was okay. Apparently my face is red.
Mike is like a mood ring. You can always look at his face to see how he's feeling by how red he is. Lots of people are here right now. Sorry. Too slow, couldn't get you in the very front. We're practically there, so I'll just be able to show you some things anyway. Gonna have a little bit of water. Look at that beautiful Minnie Mouse there. We'll be taking off shortly and enjoy one last very special ride. Of course, these vehicles were designed and built by the legendary Disney Imagineer, Bob Gurr, who was here on Saturday for the Haunted Mansion premiere and was up to his delightful antics all day long in the park, doing lots of little videos and things. Good friend, I absolutely love that man. Mike, we can almost see into the construction there for that ugly green wall.
Oh yeah.
Almost.
There's a roof on it.
It's a roof to keep us from looking in. One of the first things Paul Pressler did when he became president of Disneyland was have them redesign Tomorrowland to be cheaper to maintain, and also because he had a fear of heights, he had them move the old Astrojets down here. They actually stole this vehicle. It was supposed to go to Disneyland Paris while it was under construction. So we got the first version here, and then they built a clone of it for Disneyland Paris. But it's here at the front of the land instead of somewhere in the back to be sort of the weenie for the land, kind of like the castle idea. Walt believed that you would build something big at the back of each land to draw people in. It's not a terrible ride, but it's certainly not very scary to be just feet off the ground. Dumbo for adults. covered here. We have a nice shady roof, and when you're in the shade, it's quite enjoyable.
And there's a breeze.
There is a breeze. Like you were saying, there's a breeze on Main Street, but Galaxy's Edge didn't have one. There, off we
Good
go.
afternoon, everyone. Welcome aboard the Omnibus. For your safety, remain seated. Keep all hands on seat and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Watch your children. It's a one-way trip to the front of the park, Town Square. Here we go. Again, welcome aboard the Omnibus. Over here on the right-hand side, we have the centerpiece of Disneyland, Disney Beauty's Castle, gateway to Fantasyland, and Mickey's Kingdom. And a couple of my favorite rides is the Small World and Storybook Land and Outpost. The Royal Theater's on our right, where they put on shows, retelling stories of Tangled and Beauty and the Beast. Check out the showtime. Frontierland and Adventureland entrances are on our right. Gateway to New Orleans Square for the country. We live in galaxies far, far away. Star Wars Galaxy Go. Adventureland is also home to a few attractions, including Indiana Jones. And also the world famous Jungle Cruise, which has been around since 1955. As we turn the corner to head down beautiful Main Street, there's the Plaza Inn on our left, serving up good old Southern style fried chicken. They also offer pasta, salad, dessert, and much more. The Toy Dog Park on our left, along with the First Aid Station, Lost Child, and Baby Care Center. Perfect treat for someone sweet from the Gibson Roll Ice Cream Parlor coming up on our right-hand side. Serving out good old-fashioned hand-scooped ice cream on the cone, ice cream floats, and sundaes.
I'm going to be having a late lunch today.
The horse-drawn streetcar passes by, and it's time to treat for you.
Horse-drawn carriage going over there, followed by the red
Over
jitney.
here on the left, we have Market House, featuring Starbucks coffee, where you could pick up your favorite pick-me-up.
Always loved the name of this shop, Fortuosity. It's a name from a song, The Happiest Millionaire.
And so this vehicle has come to a full and complete stop, and I have turned off my engine. For my friends up top, watch the step coming down those stairs, use that handrail when you exit the vehicle. Thank you for joining me on the Omnibus. I want to wish everyone a restful rest of your day here at the Disneyland Resort, where today we are celebrating Disneyland's 68th birthday. July 17, 1955, Disneyland opened up for the very first time. Happy birthday, Disneyland.
Of course, that's Walt's apartment up there. The lights on for Walt. Reached our destination. I'm going to take you one last spot. Oh, she'll unlock the stairs down there and we'll get off. But I want to take you quickly by the firehouse and then to the Mickey Floral so that we can say our goodbyes here to a 68th anniversary Mice Chat walkthrough of Disneyland. I am. Mice Chat. Hello, ladies. Mwah. Very nostalgic about this spot because Walt picked this spot for himself. So he could have built himself an apartment just about anywhere on Main Street or Adventureland, just about anywhere he wanted in the park. But this spot was special to him because it reminded him a little bit of his boyhood. Growing up in the Midwest, he had them build that little apartment for him up there, and it's tiny. You can see how small the building is. So that's the whole apartment right there. It's one room and a bathroom, but the 2 couches fold out into beds. So Walt could sleep up there, Lillian could sleep up there. He had a little hot plate, could make his coffee, and then after the park closed for the night, Walt would walk down Main Street to what is now Coke Corner, or sometimes he'd go to the Red Wagon Inn and he'd get himself hot dog or chili. He had the keys to the place, of course. This was his part. And we're truly walking in Walt's footsteps when we're on Main Street, USA. One of his grandchildren, Joanna Miller, who is an absolute amazing woman, tells stories about being a little girl and getting to stay in that little apartment above the firehouse with Walt and Lillian. And one time Walt had them pull some of the Autopia cars off the Autopia track and bring them to Main Street, and the kids raced them up and down Main Street after park closing. She said because the apartment was kind of at the backside of Jungle Cruise, they would sometimes terrorize the Jungle Cruise skippers by going out into the jungle and throwing things at the people on the boats. Another nostalgic spot is right up here at the front of the park. You walk into Disneyland and you see that beautiful train station again. Walt Disney had all of this built. That's all original to when Walt was here. But the other thing that you noticed immediately is Mickey Mouse. Beautiful Mickey Mouse floral. And the train station. This is Disneyland, folks. Thank you for joining us. Happy 68th birthday to our favorite place on earth. Happy birthday, Disneyland, and thank you to all of you for joining us today. We hope that you'll take just a few moments to visit micechat.com and read our beautiful Monday update filled with intrigue and exciting stories and information about the Haunted Mansion movie premiere, which I got to attend on Saturday. So much to see today. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful week, everybody. We'll be back with you on Friday. See you again real soon. Bye-bye.